They're south. Believe a Sleep Kingmaster is also still alive, holding a split position with the rest of his team, right alongside SA dead. There are 5 squads.
Oh, rickety, right.
Behind Reeds here, but a nice split position for Oxygen to hold this entire south side to them.
We got Roar, Leave No Witnesses, 1 member left alive for SA dead, Dark Zero and Oxygen. Last 5 teams. Basically, the only 2 teams in full force. 3 teams, Leave No Witnesses, Dark Zero, and Oxygen with full teams of 3. But look at the blue shields in the hands of LNW.
That's live.
So patiently here, especially blocking the Watson. With the circle closing in, though, they're forced to move forward. A Sleep Kingmaster with a red.
All right, we're live there.
Their way in. Oxygen calling in an evac so that way they can get onto the high ground of this dome-shaped eggshell.
Yeah.
And here they go. They know where Dark Zero is going to be rotating right below their feet.
Code Red Finals match point format.
They're going to give up some space right behind them, which could leave onto a third party from Leave No Witness. Huge nades.
Nice nades here from Reeds.
Black hole. Now
he's going to have to fall back, though, because of the storm. It's Final 4 here. Sorry I'm late, y'all. I had casting.
Also making sure that Leave No Witness.
Yeah, I'll be all right, though.
And they couldn't get a knock, though, so despite their efforts, look at that. DZ's going to be able to heal back up to full. And look at the importance of Bangalore smokes for this late game. That's what's keeping DZ alive here.
So Dark Zero is still alive and has a decent little spot, but they're going to have to rotate. They might have the longest rotate.
Especially when you have a Digi ready, which we can see Jen doesn't have one right now, but he's also working off of limited light ammo.
But no one's looking at them, right? So they're like in a decent spot.
Legolas says he wraps around the other side. They're going to be waiting out on this outside of the eggshell for as long as they possibly can, especially with
Oxygen.
Most of the pressure. Meanwhile, the duo, by the way, from
Leave No Witness.
Not moved. Oxygen still does not know that they're
Who's that far team? Who's the 4th squad?
I can't believe that. Top 4 and counting by purely ratting this game. So right now it's DZ full force, Oxygen full force, Leave No Witness full force, but I guess L and W only has blue shields to their name. Watson fences have certainly helped.
It seems like the meta is still very much what it was last season, even with the changes. You know what I mean? Which is interesting.
You got to do something crazy here, though, if they want to pull it off.
It's a combo for the storm here, especially with these Watson fences, and you know the creeping barrage is going to come in. So with the Watson being put into play and the Jen already being out on the field. Oh, Pierce goes down, though, first. The wingman shots ringing through the air. Finding his head as Sykes wants to capitalize off of this with the rest of Dark Zero. They're going to, with the catwall being called in, take advantage
of
so from Oxygen, trying to engage.
Leave No Witness down to just a solo here.
Last 4 squads here remaining while Leave No Witness are fighting for their lives, leaving only 1 member here. RAR XC as a duo get called out.
All right.
That may go into the hands of
So Leave No Witness goes out. RAR goes out here as well. So it's Oxygen versus Dark Zero, but Dark Zero's got 1 down.
Yeah, 1 member of Dark Zero currently knocked, though. So Oxygen coming.
This should be a free dub for Oxygen, right? Yeah.
That's going to be it. Oxygen is your champion.
Nice.
What a game from them again, from all the way in the north.
Yo, again, my bad, chat, for popping live late. Had some casting.
Get God's spot on top of
I went late.
Very well played from them.
But popped live as soon as we could.
No surprise here. It's Oxygen that always comes out on top.
Let me know how it's looking on whatever platform you're watching it on, since we're popped live across a couple of different platforms here.
Get to see how they do here too, John.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Oxygen breakout game that we were talking about, right? We saw them doing okay in the standings, I think 11 or 12 points, but not necessarily having that breakout opportunity. And boom, there it was, massive game.
But chat, if y'all are in, if y'all are watching over on the
back home, for my prediction, win the whole tournament, and that's why. That's their slaying power.
Y'all tune in on TikTok, man. I appreciate y'all coming through and hanging out with your boy. First time live over here.
He is the most underrated.
Live over on the red app and purple app as well.
Him perform, and it showed right there in that game.
Yeah,
mobile is good, nice.
They were like in 9, so they still were holding on to that 10.
AZ, how have you been, fam?
To change this to Storm Point, and now going right back home where they feel comfortable on World's Edge. We saw this.
Always good seeing you in chat, buddy.
From Reeds, but also the back-to-back follow-up, forcing a lot of these individual players to get into the line of sight of his teammates, so that way they.
So match point format today, so we don't know how long we're going to be running.
A lot of the carnage go down over to the south side by launch site before the circle pulled outside of the safety of where Dark Zero had claimed that spot.
Yeah, and then Sentinels were just basically owning the entire east side of the map. Got a lot of kill points, but did end up getting taken out in the 7th.
Hey, I feel it. I feel it.
With a late rotate, ended up getting punished. And here's this late game where you saw Dark Zero basically punish the Army National Guard team and anyone there on edge.
Y'all cooling down your way as well? Bro, I swear it was colder when I walked home from the gym. That was nasty. Oh my goodness.
50 a pop, 95 headshot. That's what it does.
But I swear it was colder
Right
walking
slightly
home from the
over
gym
their
this morning
heads
than
there,
walking
too,
to
at
it.
the very
Yo, what up,
end.
Oliver? How you doing,
Saying
buddy?
that Chris was a little too early for him, so that way they could capitalize on the wingman shots. But also on the other side of that catwall, any KP counts here for this team, but they played around the outside of the egg show for a really long time while making that rotate outside of the on-site building with the rest of Dark Zero.
Yeah, super well played across the board there. And actually, we have standing. I thought we were jumping a break. We got standings ready. That's how fast the turnaround is from our production team. Shot to Boom TV production. Let's take a look at our standings here after 3 games. Monstrous game from Oxygen. Second place from Dark Zero. What does that do for them?
Oxygen sitting at 35. So remember, they got to get to 50 points first.
15 points away from a locking match point. Dark Zero leapfrogs in the standings to 4th place overall. TSM falls to 7th.
Wow, but look how close this is, regardless, even all the way down to outplayed, honestly, with 20 points.
Bro,
Even
off
that
season's
that
been
makes
tough for you,
because
boy,
of the
Oliver. I ain't gonna lie to you.
These teams in the top 5.
Ain't
all the
gonna
way
lie to you,
between
fam.
FaZe and Sentinels is that 3-point difference. Tied that with Dark Zero. What a lobby we have on our hands after 3 games alone, and we still have that.
But we're
one
back to
last
grinding.
game on World's Edge.
We
before
here.
Make the swap right back over to Storm Point.
How have you been,
Right.
homie?
And of course, we'll see the TSM versus Meat Lovers early game saga continue on both Storm Point and World's Edge. We got that and more coming right after this short break. Don't go anywhere, y'all. We got game number 4, last game on World's Edge before swapping back to Storm Point right after this.
Yeah, so they have to get to 50 points first. So it's match point, just like they do in the finals for LAN. So they'll have to get to match point, and then they got to win one.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying.
But yeah, we're gonna get back to being more consistent on watch parties and stuff now that esports season is gonna be starting up. Also gonna be doing it over on TikTok whenever we're live over here on YouTube, as well as the Purple app.
Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Yeah, we've got access to everywhere. I'm gonna be trying to pop live. We're gonna be watching kind of across a couple of different titles. There's a TSM Women's Invitational that will probably be popping live for tomorrow. And then this weekend, I'm not sure what I'm gonna be able to get up and watch, just simply because my casting is pretty busy. We'll see. There's a team in this lobby, Regiment, largest military gaming org. We're doing some Valorant castings for them. I think it's ANC Outplay, right? Because Leave No Witness is South American. 2R1C, I think, is... They've got at least one dude from Portugal, like Yarka. Yeah, ANC Outplayed. Yeah. But yeah, man, feels good to be live finally here. We're able to be live up on the Purple app, the Red app. We're live over on the Dancing app as well. We everywhere, baby.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Code Freedom Finals, presented by National Guard. Fallout here alongside Vicky Kitty. We're 3 games in this match point final and finale to what's been an excellent season of Code Freedom so far.
Oh, let me
right now, follow, getting to take a look at the new season, the new
take
legend,
out.
but also how a lot of these teams have worked into their strengths, whether it be with stand-ins or
take myself offline.
teammates. they have been able to put in quite a performance so far in a match point format tournament.
So we don't get
That's
that
right. Of course, when you look
notification
at
down that
Stormpoint,
bottom
we talked
right-hand
about it
corner.
A lot. New season 19 changes. Been a lot of fun to watch, right? 6-7 teams playing. I wonder, are they just testing the waters?
Last time I was trying to multi-stream
season opportunity to try new things
between Green App and YouTube or in the Red App.
Has legs. Do you think she's here to stay?
I was having
I think she's right.
encoder
I think she
issues.
provides a lot of utility.
I might.
Again, you could use it aggressively, you could use it passively, especially when it comes to bunkering down, and also that tactical with the shield, the way that it regenerates.
I just don't know how much
and
our
again,
content
regenerates
is,
over time when
our
you
type
aren't
of
in
content
that
is being
fray,
viewed over
but it's
there. You know what I'm
also great
saying?
when you have to reset, when you think about having to get a respawn going down.
Like, I think that's
the
the big
likes
thing
of
for me.
Optic go for. Going into the game, let's not waste any more time, John. I'm so
Let's go,
excited with
map
the
number
action
4,
we've had
baby.
so far.
Back
Oxygen,
to World's
under finish
Edge.
for our previous game. Can they do it back to back?
That's the question. And of course, Lava Siphon, well, it's a hot zone for 2 reasons. 1, the loot. 2, meat lovers and TSM, the saga, the 2 of them.
That's right,
against each other,
contesting its
contesting
Lava
both,
Siphon. I forgot about that.
Lightning Rod and Storm Point. Here we go again. Round 2 here on World's Edge.
Looks like the action never stops. The party never stops unless...
Wait.
Okay, wait. They give up
Oh,
the
God.
middle building. Wait. There is more action going on. There is...
They've
3
got
teams
the
in
team
area.
formerly known as
Are you
Godfire
kidding me?
here.
This is just going to be free here for TSM to engage on since...
Yeah, because the other 2 are building on the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess who it is. It's the former Kick squad that TSM could not
Wow.
stand for contesting them blindly, numbly, whatever Hal would say.
That's
about
not the
that.
former Kick
Kick
squad.
decides to drop their former Kick and Knocked Him squad, South America. And guess what? We won't get to see the TSM versus Meat Lovers at round 2 here on World's Edge because Kick just absolutely punished them and dropped out of nowhere. I'm sure Tech's not happy about that one.
Let's see, it's totally the old
Knocked
Knocked 'em squad.
I wasn't expecting right there.
Although I guess what Kings was
Also, at the very end
Kings?
of that last
Yeah,
game,
Kings
winning
was
that
on
round position in such a way to the north side of that circle by
was
zone. They were able to predict where that next circle is going to be pulling here. Get the beam
on
onto
Kick
Jets.
prior to going to
Okay,
Knocked 'em
Nobody is safe
during
out
the whole
here.
roster
Oh,
switch.
First Worst is going to be able to
When
continue rotating to this north side.
Elysium
So
retired.
confused. OP outplayed, drops Geyser, and for some reason, Shex was just kind of trying to maybe heard the fight, wanted to see if he could get in.
So that means Meat Lover's gonna be the first one out here. Also, by the way, man, if y'all can do me a favor, make sure you're tapping in, whether it's hit the like button over on the Dancing app, hit the like button over here on the Red app.
In shambles because Franks, I believe, would
Say what's up.
on the other side.
Appreciate y'all hanging out, man. Hopefully everyone's having themselves a good Wednesday.
On top of Lava Siphon before rotating maybe with the rest of OP towards Geyser, there's a ring console there. They could utilize that ability to just see where the circle was going to be pulling, but then was called out.
Is the volume good, by the way?
And now we're getting to see more action going down from the north side of Harvester. Exiting out of Harvester, it's going to be 07. Nasky, SA Dead, meeting them. They are choosing violence in this lobby.
Yeah, 3 kills already for worst. That's going to be Meat Lovers down and certainly out. Guess who joins the fight, though? And guess who's going to get taken out as a result? It's going to be SA Dead. Salute.
07 moving in.
Cleans up and
Yo!
loot.
What up, Link?
Says to also join the fight.
How you doing, buddy?
First Horse just did not see Nasky. He was just running ahead.
Good to see your face, fam.
On the other side.
Hopefully you've been well.
TSM chasing down after the action, saying, you know what? We wanted to get involved in the party. It's a little later. Chasing right behind SA Dead, who now...
Oh, Meat Lovers wasn't officially out yet.
07, noting that TSM could be
Until
right
Luxford
behind him,
going
actually
down.
just trying
Interesting.
To hold forward here, trying to see where that last player who's running for their lives through Harvester.
Heading home from work? Heck yeah.
Running to the north side of Harvester. Could get away before TSM now wrap around behind 07.
Hopefully work's been treating you well, homie.
For 07, a.k.a. Salute, a.k.a. former KCP, so you got to think they're feeling confident. And again, they do have the shield.
Does everything look decent over here, Link? This is my first
They got to be careful because Optic
stream vertical over here.
Stacks. They're gonna be rotating nearby.
It looked like everything was looking solid in the studio for it,
TSM.
but
Meanwhile, let's check out the north side of the map here. There's been so much action on the south side.
Yeah, for once, taking a look at Landslide, this is where there is a ring console, yes, and Frickers actually having to navigate away with White Evos.
heck yeah.
Looks like they're getting pinged from afar. Sentinel in Fricker's hand, and he's got the ulti on the other side. It looks like a team may have beaten them right to that ring console. It's Flavor of the Month that was putting in some pressure onto them.
I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do it, and I felt like this approach was probably the best. I thought about doing the YoBoyCue thing that's at the top on the bottom, but I figured having that more visible and people are probably less worried about seeing the bottom half of my cam. You know what I mean?
Area, depending on what direction the circle is going to be pulling in, north side of Monument.
That's right, especially on overlook side of the map. So we got
I wonder if
teams,
anyone gets
2
on
rats,
match
1
point here.
controller.
I doubt
In
it.
a fight nearby with Orioles and the Sentinel squad who drops overlook. A couple other teams in the vicinity as well. So I think these teams, again, probably going to coexist. You don't want to see any teams take fights here because you're likely to get third-partied at this point. They're just going to be content waiting, seeing where the zone's going to pull, and maybe just poking long range.
This could really benefit the likes of FaZe, who lands by Climatizer, who, by the way, have a survey and a ring console. And sometimes we see this circle pull north of Overlook by the rock slide. So we have to see how.
So you've got 2R1C here.
Are going to be able to navigate around.
Just kind of chilling on the rock over in that smoke undercover. Who's DIG?
Very congested.
Oh, dropping gaming.
Earlier from Lava Siphon.
So
things slow down here on the northeast side of the map.
Stunny
Exactly
with
where
the 2
zone's
players
pulling.
from Dojo. That's interesting.
I take a moment to thank National Guard once again. Obviously, it's been a tough past few years with the pandemic, Gen Z's coming of age.
Yeah, man, I wanted to try and figure out, how I can really push things, doing the more journalistic style watch party content this coming season, because I had a lot of fun with it last year.
School for it's full time at pursuing multiple paths at once. Guard members,
And obviously with some of the changes and things.
Success. Want to show some love to National Guard for sponsoring and making this entire tournament series possible. As we're jumping on board,
Especially now we can be over here,
See the way that Optic try to play inside this building.
I feel like there's so many people who aren't capitalizing on
R9 with the Digi, the gold
working on being live over here.
Dream here. Well, force the pop to Phoenix though. Solid team that's playing already on the outskirts of that building. We noted that Geyser is probably going to get heated. Could be LG that's playing on the outside of that building. But while they do engage inside of this tunnel, it could be risky. They're leaving their backs open for LG to rotate right behind them, while also having to worry about the teams that have already...
Oh no, I got hit with another mod. I want to help promo your channel. No, it's fine. Seriously. Yo, Link, what's been keeping you busy gaming-wise lately, fam?
Right now, this entire rotation in tunnel is stacked. We got OP, we got 2R1C, TSM right on the outside in No Name Village, LG flanking and trailing them. So I believe a few teams will certainly make this. It'll be a little bit rough on the rotate. Meanwhile, switching over to Alliance, who's dropping Skyhook this series, I believe.
I like seeing everybody like
far north. Slight change up for them.
I love when we get into actual competitions versus scrims, which by the way, we might start popping live for scrims over here now too. Now that we're like less than a month away from Pro League qualifiers.
30-30 in hand, and they see the team trying to exit out of the tunnel. Believe that's going to be the Army.
But I love watching this as opposed to scrims, because scrims you just see so many people like inting and a lot of early contests. Like these end games are going to be getting crazy.
In this tunnel, man, John, you mentioned it before, was incredibly stacked, but this is going to be the opportunity where some of these teams...
Yo, I saw some of the announcements for WoW at BlizzCon.
That's right. Yeah, this is that tunnel rotation.
Good time to get into WoW, looks like.
Work their way in the far
Honestly.
east side of the map. They just sneak right in. Optics right behind them. So a couple of the heavy hitters on this tunnel rotate will avoid damage. This is more like what we're used to seeing here on World's Edge. 16 squads going into Ring 3. It's going to be a busy, busy late game here. And, of course, these north side zones, Skyhook or Frag East / Monument or Overlook, tons of real estate, tons of buildings available.
Borderlands got brought up here recently. Who was it that was saying it?
Overlook specifically also have a ring console for the teams that are running the crypto.
So I know Weevil said she was down.
That usually tries to see where that circle is going to be pulling, or the teams.
But who had mentioned it not too long ago?
They want that information. They want to be able to go to Overlook, even if it makes them rotate.
Vader, maybe?
But a team who got out of this tunnel and who was in no man's land quickly was TSM. So they'll have that information.
I've always liked the Borderlands series.
Meanwhile, Outplayed taking their time inside of this tunnel, still looking at the team that's waiting outside those bunker doors. Have to be careful because LG have already rotated through the tunnel right behind them.
Yo, gotta feel bad for Meat Lovers though, man. They went out early once again.
Ring consoles there, be the first team to get
Since they've been contesting all tournament, bro. They have not gotten very many points.
Good rotation from them, and that's always been the TSM special. The fact that they've gotten Pathfinder early on, when Pathfinder was the only character that could scan for beacons, and then of course Catalyst ever since the legend changes. That intel is so important. I feel like a controller legend is a must in competitive play, in my opinion at least, unless you're just going to full commit to playing Edge every single time.
Yeah, Apex is fun, man. I would like I'm trying to save up to build a new rig because I don't know if I could play this and stream it at the same time these days. Like I can barely even like broadcast castings for it.
National Guard who have made their rotate around the outskirts of Climatizer also stand in one of those buildings, but once they're forced
No, King, not like this, brother. Oh, that's tough, fam.
It's a field day for the likes of FaZe, Sentinels who are taking their time inside of those buildings over to the north side of Overlook, where all of the action is going to be in this next choke that you currently see Luminosity play around.
Yeah, look at this fight. Dropping Gaming, Luminosity.
Dude, that's tough.
In 2R1C, all with TSM gatekeeping on the south side of the map. Keep an eye on that. That's going to be a tough
Army
one.
National, is it that right? The Army National Guard team? Is that right?
FaZe Clan, they find themselves
Yeah,
pretty
ARNG.
great positioning, great prediction of the zone, and they'll be able to make it to late game. Surely, here comes that fight we were talking about.
Bro, it's why my phone always goes into an OtterBox with a
as Luminosity involved in this fight
screen cover like the minute I buy it.
That's why they didn't want to engage in this fight originally.
Like I bought my phone and it had a screen cover and OtterBox before it left the store. Because I'm a klutz.
Team right in front of them if they decided to still wait by those bunker doors, but this is where all the action is going to go down because TSM are also waiting in the outskirts right to the right by Overlook by the ring console.
Yo, Link, you and I, we used to have some fun on this thing, though, didn't we, man?
Southeast side of the map here. Only one team.
We had fun being buns.
Maybe it'll just be TSM gatekeeping. This might be just danger for all teams involved. I'm interested to see how this plays out. Nice Watson pylon, get regen and shields, get to save up on shield cells for late game. This is a tough rotate for ANC Outplayed, who did get the res on Andy Jax, who got taken out early.
I do feel like if I were to pick it up at this point, though, I would just 1,000%.
Out there. That rotate from Geyser would have been nice for them. This could have been a big game for
just pick up the controller, though.
Don't see him here right now. Depends. So many other members are stacked up.
I think that kind of made it harder for me to get into Apex because I was trying to learn mouse and key, too.
Noting, also hear the crypto drone flying above them. LG having to fight
and then now these days, you know, watching all this competitive Apex where everyone's switching to controller.
Right behind them. They try to execute
who they just roll up on?
As they saw the knock originally here, putting the tactical from the conduit originally.
Oh, that's the NC Outplayed.
So that way they could go in and outplayed outside the bunker doors.
That's big because ANC Outplayed is
Luminosity. So that way they TSM for so long, playing on the edge of the circle to
we go.
More of these fights, to play much more aggressively to get the KP on board. This is the 4th game, and we're already seeing a lot of these teams even things out with the scoreboard. Love the pings coming in from Nizo, love the wall too. This is to block out the majority of the teams that do have this area.
Honestly, now more days it's one mouse and key and 2 control, at least in ALGS. Like a lot of people are switching to controller.
Taylor going to get taken out early. This is a fight we're used to seeing if you've been watching EMEA ALGS for a long time. Alliance versus Flavor of the Month in the kill feed, and Alliance gets the upper hand, completely wiping the new Flavor of the Month rookies from the lobby. It's Jay Hanzo and Names playing alongside Vet and Taylor.
Oh, what they just missed out ever so slightly.
So 07's going to pull in?
Was Salute.
But Alliance has already gotten reset.
In from the high ground, they called in an evac just to replace themselves and also get out of the sight.
I was saying 07's getting shot from the other side too, which is kind of tough. I think they were hoping to 3P that.
Here, and they wanted to involve themselves in the third party, and now LG just ruined those chances.
Damn, LG's kind of cucking them.
Rough call. It's a
tough
one. They didn't know the situation.
Now 07's got to figure out which way they want to go on this.
Between Alliance and Flavor of the Month, and wanted a third party, wanted to be the benefactor, but in the end, they just ended up sandwiching themselves between 2 teams. LG was the ultimate benefactor because they're able to take
no worries, King,
and find themselves as the cookie in the Oreo sandwich here, as Salute is just stuck in the middle. Alliance says, never mind, let's make this a 1 cookie sandwich.
What?
They're gonna back.
Everyone's backing down from 07. Why? TSM's out in 13th.
Get deleted. Dan Zen coming in while they were playing on the edge of the circle. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it looks like a couple teams were able to take them out. So TSM is out. We didn't see the fight necessarily.
That was RAR
A few squads. Yo, appreciate the follow over here on
as well as RARXD, both taking
the vertical app, man.
TSM.
From S Kennedy.
Actually crazy as the lobby.
Big fan. Appreciate you. You're the true MVP. We're gonna start being live for more, like I was saying earlier, chat. We're gonna be live for more watch parties now that off-season seems to be picking back up. We've got TSM Invitational tomorrow
playing off of the catwalk
for
still being on
Women's
the
Apex that we'll be watching.
But also with the gold, Evo Shield gets backed out just as quickly. It's Optic on the other side of the catwall while they fight for their lives uphill.
Next week we've got Salt Mine we'll be watching
Wide flanks
over
can come
here
through as well.
for Rocket League.
That ultimate there was a solid one to buy them time, but I'm not sure if entirely necessary. Here comes the push from Optic.
I might watch the Gauntlet for Rocket League OCE
nice use of ultimate
tournament
here for
this
Ryzen
weekend.
Skittle Cakes. Was his nade going to connect? Not yet necessarily. Pops the shield bat, stays alive somehow.
Dropping
So
Gaming's out.
slippery.
Dark Zero out as
Skittle
well.
Cakes knocked, goes down, and he jumps right into
Fifth
the
circle
ultimate
closing,
of
man.
the
We're about to see a bunch of teams dipping out of here. 07 out. 2R1C out.
Knocked out an insane nade and now in some insane beams. But for how
Wow,
long?
big
before
shots.
LG ringing through the
Skittle
skies
Cake's
with
trying to
the
rat out.
set
Can he
goes
stay there?
Eliminated in your feeds. RAR XD. They took that fight from TSM and have now been able to take another fight.
Who's
Actually
RAR,
getting
by
loot
the
at
way?
their feet here, while you see Optic just trying to run away.
RXD playing this game so well. A couple kills to their name. Top
who's their
6
team?
Once again, they've had a good World's Edge showing so far. Very impressed from Valiosa, Dan, and Song.
Like, what region are they from?
They'll hold a nice little high ground. They got to get through LG now on the rotate with guess who's near.
that an A team?
Clan. We're going to be gatekeeping. And then on the north side of the map, you see Alliance
Huh.
right next to Zervo
It is. Interesting.
and the crew to their right.
FaZe holding this position. This is going to be the name of the game here, unless they want to try to get some KP if they've been denied already.
Is FaZe the duo?
By those north side of the death boxes. Wonder what happened on the other side.
LG is going to move in and be the 3P here on this Alliance fight.
Other side of the train tracks here. Looking at the fight happening before their eyes. It's going to be
And what is this,
Alliance.
3 silly men,
Trying to
right?
engage, but they have to finish this just as quickly here. Nice beam coming in. He's got
Yeah,
the
that's
R9
3
can't
silly
stop
men
the
that they're
Zero
fighting
right
here.
too, but they clean out 3 silly men who are running that.
But
wall,
LG should be coming
closing
over
in
this
the
way,
gap
right?
To actually secure the inside of this truck for that next.
Or is
circle.
LG
They
just
have
bagging
to
down
start
off
moving
that?
Slowly, Alliance with the scan of the Bloodhound. They know exactly.
Oh,
where
LG's
LG
got
is
someone
located,
else pushing
and
them.
here comes a push from
That's
RAR.
RAR.
Nice catwall and the timing.
That's a good
Trying
Dark
to
Veil.
separate LG, but also take care of themselves as the insurance policy away from Alliance.
All right, Roar,
Woo!
3v3 against Luminosity, one of the best 3v3 fighting teams in the game, and it's all going to come down to Yanya.
All right.
Last
El
alive,
Presidente!
Guess what? It's going to be the third party that comes through. Zainu picks up one. Alliance will join the fun. Trying to melee his teammate if he can is Yanya, but this might be all she wrote for LG.
Unfortunate.
Skittle just tried to grief them with the Kraber. He got the.
Oh, bruv.
That was just free game.
Oh, and the
FaZe
FaZe duo's rolling
stepping
in.
up. And as a duo,
Who's
FaZe
left?
are the last ones remaining versus Alliance, the last squad with all 3 members alive.
Well, this should be an easy wipe for Alliance here. Alliance was sitting down at 19 points before this, though, so it's going to be a really big game for them to be able to pick up some points.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to reset. They know the zone's also pulling to them. So hold hands is the name of the game. I believe they did get the numbers advantage. They did to kind of recognize.
Yo, welcome back,
if they trade these
King.
Kills out, they will. Your champions here for game number 4. But can FaZe do something insane here?
Holding on to this position is definitely the first step here. 2 different sides. Frax tries to move in. Alliance, though, fighting their way from the north side of the map. Very uncharacteristic of them since they've been changing up their drop spot. Yuki, though, playing off the
FaZe
low
has the
ground,
high
has to be
ground, though.
careful. He's got the R9 and
There's
the
no
jump,
way
but
that they
the
win this here,
effect
right?
is beamed.
That beam on effect is going to be big, though.
The quick shield regain for effects. That's the conduit effect in this late game. He goes down early. Phony's making plays, but Zainu goes down. Phony left in a 1v2. Hockey's is so hurt. That's
Damn.
it. Alliance will be your champions here of game number 4. Brilliant rotate from Skyhook. And what made the difference there, Vicky, was the push against 3 silly men. Taking
That's crazy.
The trailer, clearing north, getting the loot reset. That's what did it for them. And Alliance takes a much-needed dub here.
But that's big, though, for FaZe, too. They were sitting in 4th before that. So, what, 9 points for the placement points gets them up to 37, plus whatever they had KP-wise?
Off to the side through the tunnel. But they are looking fantastic, taking the fights that were necessary to put them in that position so they can.
Trying to think about who else
when the time was right.
was alive there late.
Bloodhound as well. And
I think Oxygen went down pretty early. Optic went down.
Again, fits their play
Dark
style.
Zero is like
Hard edge team
9.
has
No,
been
Dark Zero.
Very early days of
No.
ALGS playing from Thermal Station.
Dark Zero have been
always like
early?
to play from any edge POI. So no take cave on Storm Point, Thermal Station on World's Edge, and they
Went down
actually
like
gave up,
11th?
maybe some PTSD from their fights against the dojo at Champs. They gave up Thermal Station this tournament and played Skyhook instead.
I do like this though too because I do want to call out that in World's Edge we happen to see a
Means
lot
we're going back to
more
Storm
than
Point,
circles,
baby!
But the fighting that was just nonstop. It was
Who's
quite
excited for
messy,
Storm
honestly.
Point? Tap on that
Seeing the
screen.
teams from the very
Let me know.
beginning in a $50,000 finals, trying to all land lava.
I like the
siphon,
look
I
of new
mean,
Stormpoint,
Hey, you know,
honestly.
whatever works when it comes to your flow, but rather very risky and really set up a high octane tempo from the
It's also
very
interesting
beginning
seeing
for
a
this
couple
fourth
different conduit squads.
It certainly showed
In this
Last two
finals.
Victors here in Game 4. We'll get the standings for you as soon as we possibly can. But again, they've been just kind of hanging on. They've been doing a really, really good job getting a few points here and there in the first 3 games. All they needed was that breakout dub. They got it right there. That'll certainly put them in the top 3 or top 5. We're going to calculate the standings, and as we do that, we'll jump to a very quick break. Don't go anywhere, y'all. When we get back, Code Freedom Finals right after this break.
So what are we thinking, chat? Who's got what it takes? So LG is going to be in the top. So we got 3 teams tied in first, 45 points. LG, Alliance, and FaZe. Let me actually,
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sideline.
take a look at this over here. Pull this up for you guys while we're waiting. Should I have warned you about the flashbang? My bad, flashbang. Surprise! But here's your scores so far. So you can see we got LG, FaZe, and Alliance all sitting at 45. So 3 teams that realistically probably get to match point either this next 2 games. You could even maybe even say the same thing for Optic down there, potentially. I mean, really down through DZ, right? You get yourself a win plus some kills. I just feel like that's such a weird qualifier, though. Dark Zeros fragged their asses off, though, in that game 3. I love it, man. Let me go. Oh, starting to feel my legs.
World's Edge 2 games. Well, that's done and dusted. We'll be jumping back to Storm Point here in just a moment as part of the Code Freedom Finals presented by Army National Guard. What a 4-game series it's been. Alliance shows up big there in game number 4, Vicky.
Love it with the rotation, too, that we highlighted. Coming in from the northwest side of the map, rotating all the way around Survey Camp and taking the dub, holding that position that they needed to take a fight against a team that was actually bunkering down inside that truck before they were able to face off against an unfinished FaZe.
Let's switch back, my bad, y'all. My bad.
Right, sure what happened, how they lost one, but it was Zainu and
That's my fault, man.
down early in that fight. FaZe, another top 2 finish, though. Consistency from FaZe. Let's take a look at the standings, though, and see if that consistency will pay off for FaZe Clan. Vicky, walk us through it.
All right, now we get to see Alliance tied
Wow.
with not just LG, but with FaZe on top of it
That's big.
all. And that was all based off of that last game, our final game on World's Edge now before we make that transition into Stormpoint. But this is insane. No team at match point yet. Yet we still have 3 teams 5 points away. Are you kidding me?
Actually insane. I mean, really, any team all the way down to Dark Zero with 31. I mean, TSM needs something insane, but I'd say all the way down to 7th place can unlock match point next game with a pop-off type of series. Either way, something tells me we will be seeing a match point team after this game, but after 4, well, there's none, which means we get more gameplay. I think a guaranteed 2 games of Stormpoint. I don't want to jinx it by any means, but something tells me we're good for at least 2 more games of Stormpoint here, Vicky. I'm all types of
Well, but
cannot wait,
how would we
especially after seeing
not?
the action go down on the chain
You know what? Never mind.
Point. I mean, we also saw a 50-50.
Yes,
We
we're gonna have at
a
least 2 more
situation
games.
that allowed
Yes,
LG
correct.
to take the dub twice in the first 2 games. That's just more points.
Yo, what
added
up,
into the
ducky?
bracket.
Quack,
Will
quack,
it
quack,
happen
quack,
again?
quack.
But we still continue to see these 50-50s play out. We see that Meat Lovers has also been landing on top of TSM, not just through Stormpoint, but on World's Edge 2, and a very uncharacteristic situation at the very beginning of that previous game. Hopefully, things don't get as messy as we saw at the very beginning of game number 4. Let's jump into game number 5, one of my favorite games going into this match point format now, especially seeing our 3 top teams tied with 45 points.
That's right. Here we go. And
Bro, I just love like the color of the sky and sort of like just the whole map rework from top to bottom was genius. Was what it needed, honestly.
Conduit Horizon is the team comp for Meat Lovers. Look at the damage already going out to GOAT.
Oh, wait, I love the fuse idea, especially on a 50-50. It works so well. So does Conduit here. But
all right,
going down
2v2
first.
here.
And now they get the trade here.
With
on
no
the Verhols,
Verhols.
isolating him since he's been landing by himself in those back crates. Lex Freddy trying to take a much more passive position so that way he can keep Tech in his line of sight to provide him some suppressed fire here. Gets the beam. The Nemesis is insane. By the way, LG's about to win this 50-50 themselves here too. Meat Lovers, can they say the same here?
Yeah, Flavor of the Month goes 0-3 against LG, one of the best fighting teams in the game. You got to think you got to cut your losses at some point, stop contesting over in Zeus Station, but we'll see if that happens. Meanwhile, back on board here. 2-on-2.
Nah, man. Keep contesting at this point. Fuck it.
Duo in Apex, and they get a res. That's going to be a res on Verholst, and Luxford Tech allowed it to happen, and that was actually courtesy of the damage from Hal holding high ground. So just like that, 2v2, we thought maybe Meat Lovers could take this one. They still certainly can, but it's going to be a lot harder now with Verholst up.
It's one of the strengths that TSM provides, especially between when it comes to reps and...
I'm still not sure I'm convinced on Conduit as a competitive legend.
A field away, sitting ducks here.
I don't think I'm sold. You know what I mean?
Opposite zip line from the new Zeus Station. It is. Luxford, he saw them take that zip, and now he's forced to run on the other side, having to get away. They collect the banners, but wants to get out of dodge here while LG makes their position in front of TSM.
He's diabolical right now, Vicky. He's a menace. He's like, all right, joke's on you, TSM. I am baiting a whole team in to come take you out.
No
we'll
way.
see if that happens here. Nice damage being put through. Hal gets the last and final kill with a Sentinel, I believe, on Luxford. And now TSM's going to have to defend against LG.
Looks like it's just Yanya who actually made their way already outside of
I
lane.
realized I
It's okay
jumped
ahead of the
and
teams that
got
can
on like the main broadcast
over
instead of
Rock,
doing
where there is a
Ulti
ring
view,
console
team
too.
stream.
So already
Should I
things
set
are
up
gonna
team
be
stream
big
with Think
because
Chat, or we just
Yanya
vibing
can go
watching
ahead of time before TSM knows, but this is also can leave Yanya
the main
vulnerable before
broadcast?
Yanya needs to rotate right back to LG or has to find a different route outside of the line of sight of TSM.
Yeah, LG decides not to take the fight. Instead, wisely says...
Bro, Regiment and the Army National Guard fighting one another down at Coastal Camp. Come on.
Get some more loot, and that's why Yanya, you see at the bottom side.
You're
there.
driving? You just get off work, buddy.
Ready.
Be safe,
How
fam.
do they want to play this? I don't believe they have a controller legend on their team, LG, unless I'm mistaken. They run Conduit, Bangalore. Not sure who their third is, but nonetheless, they're going to get as much intel as they can.
So this plays out here too, while they did take that big jump tower to rejoin with Yanya.
L.
Holding into that
Fuck.
position around TSM. Taking a look at the fight happening over here between Dark Zero and Salute. Over on the south side. Holding onto that low ground before Sykes gives up that high ground to jump right down. Again, this is one of my favorite new POIs that they've added. So much loot to work
Well,
with, but
shit.
I love the terrain around this here too. Before another team tries to go in for a third party. There's so many buildings that you could actually get out of the line of sight of. Looks like the catwall was called in rather early here.
Yo, what up, BB?
So Sykes is taking a nice angle to continue on the pressure with the 30-30. Another fight now happening over by the wall. believe this may be Optic here, with OP being on the north side.
So Optic is
SA versus
underneath
OP.
the team
Italy
formerly known as
versus Brazil and Optic nearby, though. USA might enter the fray. Conduit gets broken.
Godfire, which was then
Hold
knocked
on.
him.
And they have the Catalyst and Watson team comp. It's going to put them in a really, really good spot. That ult, thankfully for them, did not make it to that low ground. Otherwise, OP would be in shambles right now.
Controls so much space here too. The flat line with the hip fire shots having to be.
Yeah, but they're getting
right
pinched by a
behind
couple
you.
different people.
Another team taking some shots. They note that are able to reset inside of this building, but they want to capitalize off of the knock that they got.
Oh, it was
Look what it is. Nocturnal is just saying, let me poke and prod a little bit. Let me see if I can mess with this fight. See what I can do. Trying to
They
make
were
some
in
plays
side
right
by
now.
side building. They
Back
weren't
over
the same
team.
one.
They have one knock. They get the kill on Nelas.
Interesting.
They got the conduit broken as well. So advantage OP right now. They'll maintain, hold on this low ground.
This is smart for them to take this fight because of this team comp that they're rocking. They're still using the Catalyst and the Watson, and you can see on the minimap that they have information on where the circle is going to be pulling. So we're probably going to have a wall circle pulling towards the outskirts of wall, or it could pull towards the northwest side of command center, with other teams making their rotation in as a dead get eliminated in the feed. Optic just opting to move right back away from these other teams just in case a team could rotate outside of those bunker doors. Could easily be the case.
Vicky's mic's a little bit low. I'm not a fan.
Rotating right through north pad, or
Sorry,
they like
though.
to play more so by the edge of the circle.
Yeah, it's going to be Salute nearby. Looks like Roar will take the other opposite side zone and building, and OP will maintain control of their building, so Wall's going to slow down here for just a little bit. Meanwhile, LG with the rotation all the way from Zoo Station takes the single house right by the Spider Choke. I like that decision from LG. Really good power position on high ground. LG will maintain. They just got to be careful because a lot of teams.
Ducky,
like
what you work tomorrow?
right above them and drop on top.
Actually, well, you're driving, so I don't feel like you have to rush
TSM
against
has
that.
done that in the
but-
past. We'll see if anyone decides to rotate nearby. Obviously, with no Valkyrie in play, only option to do that is with a jump pad or a zip pad coming from Zoo Station, if even.
They're holding the high ground here too, so that way they could look through that canyon in case anybody decides to rotate in that direction. But it's a very good spot for LG to hold just for right now, especially since they're still holding onto the lip of the high ground. In the case that they don't have that information on where the circle's going to be pulling, they are rocking the Catalyst, by the way, so they do have that circle info that they can work off of. That's why we saw Diesel actually looking where Yanya was when Yanya had taken position by that ring console, get that info and out-rotate TSM first. But TSM likes to play like this way. They like to play by the edge. This works into their play style, so no issues here. While they
So it looks like
finally
they are
rotate
sitting,
into
expecting
lightning
this to be
rod
more
and
like straight
overlook
wall.
the
They're
team
talking
that
about the
actually
command
has
center
information
ring that we
themselves
kind of
with
saw.
Oxygen that have taken control of not just the ring beacon, but of the survey beacon as well.
TSM rad
Towards the end of ALGS, but yeah, this is all the way up here.
We'll just flip to their POV. Here we go. I think they may have been ratting, trying to bait out one of the scans. Nonetheless, I'm excited. We had a TSM and Oxygen fight. Pretty much a clean fight. No teams are nearby right now, so this is a clean 3v3 if they decide to take it.
They do got a minute and less than 40 seconds on the board before they have to rotate around this. Taking their time and looking at the weapon loadout. Verho's got the 30-30. He'll poke for days. He's already firing that first shot, hitting for 57.
I mean, Conduit makes sense on Burholes if they're going to run it, right? Since he's your anchor.
Earlier on, too, so they probably have some good amount of meds that they could work off of.
Yeah, so Oxygen got the scans that they wanted. TSM has not yet. So
Still
I
not
wonder
sure
how
how
they'll
about you
go
feel
through
about
TSM
TSM
now.
using
Just
Conduit
go
as
scan.
opposed
Yeah, they will.
to like if they
TSM's
were to
not
run
gonna get
the
scan
Catalyst there.
for next zone. They instead opt for a high ground rotate, and they'll take it.
Oh no, Reps is on the
That's a good
conduit.
decision here from TSM. Why risk dying
Burholes
in
on
that
the
fight?
bang.
You can take that.
I
entire
can literally
north
see
side
that
of
in the
map
bottom left-hand
and
corner. I'm an
maintain
idiot.
control coming from the north.
Yeah, not only just that. I mean, they don't have a control.
Depends on what I wanna play.
Well,
Well,
where everybody is
what are you
That's
trying to
something
play?
for them to work off of, at least for them to figure out where everybody is situated in, so that way they can take advantage of that info and put themselves in a similar position. But like you mentioned, going in for a rotate and not trying to take that fight already with less than a minute on the clock, if they're gonna go for a wraparound, this is the time to do it here, and that's what they're gonna do, exiting out of the high ground into that low ground position through wall.
That's interesting. Not often do you see Verholz not on Catalyst. I actually thought he was rocking Catalyst. So running.
You want to
Bangalore, they
fucking
need
play
to
Hawkins,
clearly
don't you?
want
I kind of
Bangalore
do
in this
too.
map.
I'm not gonna lie.
Reps run Bangalore, but running Conduit instead. There's a change up for TSM. Again, you wonder, is this permanent for them? Is that building free? It is. Oh my god.
Wow.
TSM gets blessed with that building here on a late rotate.
Wasn't expecting that with the amount of bunker down comps we've been seeing so far in this lobby. But we absolutely take those here. And you can see with this overhead how many teams have gotten ahead of the curve in going to the wall. We saw some teams earlier, like
Fortnite,
knew exactly where the circle was going to be pulling. OP2 were running the Cat and Watson, and FaZe in some trouble. Rax having to be careful using the wingman, but the last one alive, and with the drone revealing his position.
Oh, the 10 was from the drone.
Look at the tick damage going in. It's also intel to see how much health he actually has.
Oh,
Shield bat though. Oh,
that shield bat saved him.
Third party gets a whiff of the fight.
Oxygen's in trouble here though.
Yeah,
Breezily men rolling up.
Party coming through. They heard the fight go down, and they should be able to clean this up. Thorfinn goes down already on 2R1C. Really smart third party from 3 Silly Men. Great team name, by the way. As it's going to be Team Regiment coming behind them from Stormcatchers. They just got to watch out for Team Regiment. They should be big chilling here, playing on edge. It looks like they'll successfully third party that. Get all the
Let's go, Team Regiment!
Woo! Alliance on their rotate. Don't know that to their 6. It's going to be Dark Zero moving in. He's getting into position while they take their time to rotate through that southwest side.
So is that like a real answer? You trolling, Ducky?
They did call
like
it
actual
tower. I did hear that in the distance, and Dark Zero
like
are taking at least some
for real,
distance for with a 30-30. Having to see who that may be on the other side. Looked like it could come from that zip line that's outside of the bunker from wall that leads into those 3 pillboxes. Dark Zero though now with the rotate. Trying to see where they're going to be.
Aren't you for real?
So many teams already in that north side of wall.
And FYI, the reason Alliance dropped that evac tower and rotated, well, they lost Yuki, so they're going to get a res on Yuki. Aki's in zone right now, crafting banners, and they should get the res here momentarily. Meanwhile, LG was playing the single house, playing a little more wide now. They basically own this entire south side of the map as it currently stands. With a couple teams behind them, LG's playing a little
Sentinels
more
able to slide their way in here.
Wisely decides to back out to home base.
I like LG's spot because they're like away from wall enough that they kind of just get to chill out here in this building for free because everyone's going to be trying to buy real estate like inside the actual wall. You know what I mean?
Professional Apex and the new season, how that's affected competitive play and the different compositions we're still being exposed to. Whether it be the Conduit, we still see the inclusion of the Catalyst, the Bangalore. And it's crazy to see, too, with the amount of bunker down legends having the ability to get circle info is so key, and look who is directly in the middle of
I was kind of hoping you were trolling.
It's RAR XD inside of this building. Optic that are on the outskirts. They had gotten the scan 2 circles ago, so they knew it was going to be pulling outside of the wall here. And Luminosity holding onto this high ground while they try.
He's like, I told you weren't gonna like it.
Are gonna have to think about the likes of No Witness and Sentinels.
Like I said, look at this clash coming between Regiment and Oxygen, but RAR XD is very impressive. Their ability to, against pro players in a top tier lobby, be one of the best rotating teams and zone playing teams in the game, and in the lobby has been impressive. Our Regiment's going to get called out here by Oxygen. Wise decision from Oxygen. I thought it was going to be a death sentence trying to rotate right to where Luminosity was. And the other
So
side
15 teams still left as Zone 3 is about wrapped up.
3 potential KP as well.
Oxygen's about to die here.
Having to watch out from right behind them. They need to finish this fight quickly. They already get the first knock thanks to Aiden here. Dancing around the Newcastle barrier, though. Having to find the angle. He is shimmy-shitting his way left to right around it, and Reeds wants to go for the shield bat, not the actual res. While currently Vayne tries to commit
Where's
here,
the third?
Get some extra cover. Reeds isn't going to go for the mech hit just for right now, having to find where that last member is for this team on the other side. 15 squads still left. While this
Get him! Oh, this is the Regiment team.
This will be interesting now how they're going to play this. They might have to go through that Luminosity choke that I mentioned instead of wrapping around through zone, and they will.
You enjoying the OG map?
They'll work back to that original
I guess the OG
spot
map only came out a couple days ago.
So they really went all in for this fight. Here comes the last rat. And good thing they didn't get knocked right there because that could have been dangerous. But instead, Oxygen gets 3 more kill points, and now we'll have a very tough rotation ahead of them.
Bunch of bullies.
For them on the other side. Look at Yanya's position here to add in so much pressure. That is Yanya with the confidence. He's played out of his mind today. Is Oxygen going to be able to capitalize, seeing that the fact that he's slightly separated? Nope, because he's able to just get right back to the rest of his team, especially since he's got a gravity lift to work with, considering that Yanya is a beast on the horizon. Arcsar to Vayne's back. How are they going to rotate around this? Can they use the creeping barrage if possible? He doesn't have it here. He pulls it in earlier on, and with the smoke nades now and the catwalk coming up from both angles, they are trying to get around him.
Yeah, call it trigonometry here. Perpendicular wall is going to come through. Here comes wide left flank from Vayne. Good damage being done. Reeds gets the first knock on Niesel, and just like that, We said it was a tough
We gotta
rotate.
push through to
Indeed,
get
it was.
this
Always tough fighting against
finish on
but it's
LG.
gonna be a clean wipe.
3v1.
1, 2, almost
Nice.
3. Luminosity out to the hands of OXG.
OXG just played that so amazingly, but look who's on the outside that was trying to get a whiff of the fight.
I mean, the map right now is like the
Team
best
that
map.
was off to the right of
Don't at me.
Luminosity on that slight low ground.
Or maybe
Beyond that
do
hill.
at me? I
Now
don't know.
Oxygen have free reign over this high ground, but they're gonna have to worry about not just one, but 3 other teams in front.
Remember when I told you I loved this building out here?
They're gonna be contested by so many other teams making the similar rotate.
What's so impressive about that push, though, Vicky, from Oxygen, is
Remember?
none of them went down. I mean, if one member goes down right there, Sentinels third parties that, and that might be it for
And then
Oxygen's
Oxygen
chances.
moves out here and
All
takes
three
this
of them
building
see
from
it.
LG and is about to
Luminosity in that
have a
fight.
nice little load rotate.
Beyond
And the only
impressive.
problem now
Above
is
the
like figuring
wingman
out
here,
where they have
the
space
wingman
at.
vein certainly helps.
If
So
they
far
want, they
from
can
now, coming
probably
into
move
package,
to that little
shot
space
goes
right
50
outside the
damage,
fence
not
of
40,
wall.
But it's been buffed here
Outside the
from care
wall of
package,
wall,
95
so to
shot.
speak.
Another fight going on right here too, while OP have been holding onto this building for so long, while I'm pretty sure that's still Optic on the other side putting in some extra pressure. This fight that has just not stopped giving us all the action. Dropped in that are playing on the low ground, but while they are playing here, playing off the little lip of some cover that they can work with, it's still in the line of sight of Optic, who have now
Like if I'm
in the
LG,
middle between
I'm
OP
trying to
and the
slide
Stars.
right in. Oh.
And Alliance on that far rotate. They got Yuki back up, but to what punishment? Well, they're getting completely gate kept here on zone. Chaco's right
The
behind
good
them,
news for
flat
them
cover,
is
5-2R1C.
Leave No Wit is going
And
to
they'll
be
get a res here on Hockeys. They momentarily should get the kill. Yes, they
pushing
will.
over here onto
Chaco.
Alliance, right?
They live to fight another day. They're
Which means
surviving
they're going to
the
rotate
angles.
onto
They're
this
power
west side of
How are they alive right now?
the zone,
Shield swap
which
here.
should leave this
He
right
was
there
taken away
available
from
for
getting that tax so that he can
Oxygen
heal
just to
himself right back,
chill.
so that way he doesn't have to waste a shield bat, and he does exactly that. Leave No Witness get deleted as Skittle Cakes in the feed gets the knock off with the Kraber. That is dropping Gaming in a lot of trouble too on the other side, and with the creeping barrage, Yuki with the slow gets grief because he can't outrun the circle until he's on the very lip.
Thank God for the nerf of the Bangalore ult, though, because that got him unstunned with just a second to spare. Here comes the push from Oxygen, who's continuing to eat up this entire lobby. Dark Zero out, Alliance out, Aiden kill leader with 4 playing out of his
Okay, so
mind
Dark
right
Zero
now
or Alliance
is the
got to
Canadian.
9th. So what is that? 2
07
points?
gets
They have the
deleted, 7
KP.
squads left. Oxygen holding onto this high ground. They have fought their way all the way here.
Oxygen's
after
having
getting
enough of a
some
pop-off
info.
game that
But
if they
that's
were to
not
win here, they
rolling,
probably
going
are
to
sitting on that
win,
point.
Beating LG and standing above the wall.
They're gonna
before
take high
dropping
ground on
down
this
to
building
team
is actually really
this
smart.
building. It's RAR XD 2007
Only problem is at
Holland,
some point
and it's
this team's
be
gonna need to come
Oxygen
out of
right
here.
outside their doors, forcing their way in.
I want to point out, look at Sentinels right now in the middle. Zanaya,
Vayne just
Orioles, and RKN. I believe
rounds
they
the
have Watson
corner
on their
with the
team, so they
wingman
took
and does
early
not give a
zone.
shit.
Watson
That
comes
oh
back
my
with smart
god!
Smart rotation from RKN. They were on the outside moments ago. So look, every other team is basically surrounding them. They're the nucleus here, and everyone else is going to try and work their way in.
But are they the powerhouse of the cell here when it comes to rotating through the circle? I mean,
Vayne's putting in
taking
work
care
with
of the Watson
this.
fences with Vayne coming right back on top. They are clearing out
Damn.
these buildings one by one. 6 squads left. They have to rotate into that next circle. Optic have been playing out of their minds, by the way, while they were holding onto that building, looking to completely clear this west side of the circle. Look at this in the feed. Skittle gets another one. Another Kraber knock.
Crazy shots coming through from Skittle Cakes here. Team close left. Just
So
basically
Optic was
trying to
another
survive
team
right
that
now.
was
6
sitting like
squads
just
remaining,
outside of the 40
15
mark. That
players
if they have a
left
good
in the
game
lobby, so quite a
plus
few
some
rats for
KP, they could
Q2.
also get on match point.
And here comes one of them. Speaking of which, nice sky nade's gonna knock Skittle. That's a beautiful grenade. Plus
that's
the
not good.
wingman from Vayne, who's continuing to farm in this
Heps.
lobby. Orioles is gonna get himself a knock
Heps.
as well. Noct has to go big. He gets down. Nocturnal last alive. And Oxygen.
Oh, Oxygen
here
should rise to the
in
sky and
outside
clean that
the
up.
lobby is in the middle of this fight.
Oxygen's comms are going so
Sentinel's in a
crazy,
great
all
spot
these
here with the
rising
Watson
explosives
to be able to
timing
take up a lot of
absolutely
space.
perfect, and the timing even better. They take out Optic with some help from Sentinels. Oxygen looking great, but Sentinels can't be saying the same now. Having to go into
TSM's
the
in a good
res
spot
with
as
some
well.
help from Oxygen
They've
on the
got
other side
probably
are
the
gonna provide some suppressed fire up to TSM, who cannot engage on that knock.
Vicky, Aiden and Vayne are taking turns being kill leader at 6 and 7 kills a pop. This is a
I think I
massive
actually like
high kill game
TSM's
for OXG.
spot the
They're
most.
looking to go back to back here.
The more I look at it.
But TSM looking to shut it down. Meanwhile, we do have Sentinels in the middle of the map, burrowed up with Watson fences. They got a pylon, so it's gonna be tough to push. And the zone's closing over towards Sentinels, but they are in the center and sandwiched between these two teams.
What's even crazier is that before this game, Oxygen was sitting in 5th with 35 points. We had the top 3 teams tied with 45, and this is just going to elevate Oxygen.
So they're going to swing down and try to see if they can find anything over here, especially on this angle.
Gets the knock on the other side, but they cannot capitalize. They need to slow rotate into this final
Who's
circle.
the solo left?
They will be the ones pinched in between TSM on the high ground.
So we got a 3v3, Oxygen versus TSM, and one last member of Sentinels, plus a rat somewhere. 4th squad in this mix. I didn't actually see who that was, but here comes Oxygen, who has to have all the confidence in the world. I mean, this is momentum at this point, Vicky. They are an absolute steam train rolling through this lobby. You got to think they have all the confidence in the world in this fight against TSM.
I mean, Oxygen has 8 kills so far, gets them up to 46. And they've got the placement points that they need to be up on match point after this game.
Trying to avoid
Oxygen's looking solid.
Coming in. But Oxygen is knocking at their door.
And this will be their third top 3 in 5 games.
Moving into the line of sight of Oxygen. Wonder who actually just scooped up that last KP at the very end. So now we have our final 2 teams here in the lobby. All 3-man squads, TSM versus Oxygen.
All right, TSM, Oxygen, Imperial Hell leading the push from the top of the bridge.
Here comes the push. Bangalore ult drops. Both teams trade shots, but nothing too damaging here. As I say that, Reed gets cracked.
TSM wins this.
Oh, nice
Easy.
Coming in from Reps with the 30-30. Gets the knock on
Getting dirty with the 30-30 there from Reps.
And while they hold on to the high ground, they don't want
to
go for the
easy
replay.
claps, big swing.
Only thing here. Looks around,
hold it.
The knock, though. It's going to be a trade as Reps gets taken out. Oxygen on the other side cannot do it. As TSM with the patience and the rotations coming clutch, winning game number 5.
That's right. TSM does it. Massive first place finish.
TSM was at 23 points before that.
Mentioned. They needed a monstrous game if they wanted to unlock match point. I don't think they got 13 kills, so I don't think TSM will unlock it. On the flip side, Vicky, Oxygen certainly will. 2nd place, at least 12 kills to their name. Really, really great game for them. They're the first team to go back-to-back and winning 2 games in this competition. They won game 3. They win again, or they get 2nd place, looking to go back-to-back.
I don't think Alliance did enough.
Game number 5.
Yeah, I mean, it was a high kill game for Oxygen.
I
Optic,
think
right here
LG did, though.
And like you mentioned before, TSM desperately needed to take that dub. Maybe not with the KP that they
probably
had, but still enough for them to put them up in contention with our top team sitting at match point. Once again, this is match point format. As we take a look at some of these replays, unfortunately, Meat Lovers met their demise there. Tech tried to run away in time. They even took out the Fuse and Conduit, which is great.
Alliance did not do enough. They got 10th with 2 KP.
Especially when they were trying to run away. They saw Luminosity maybe eyeing to get involved.
Luminosity went out in 13th. FaZe went out in 16th.
Parks, little fuzzy seal, Bean, of course, BMX, our entire OBS team, director team. Really impressive stuff catching all these replays. Obviously, we missed a couple of these fights. Can't catch it all. The early game fight, LG dominating flavor of the month. And here's this late game here between Sentinels, the Rat, and Dan from Roar. TSM and Oxygen. Look at the damage to the wingman. Oh my gosh, that's how it started.
It was crazy, but these shots right here from Reps, the 1-2 Scooby-Doo, I mean, he hit them with those 3 shots on the 30-30, and that was exactly what they needed to have the win condition sway heavily in their favor. It was crazy there. I'm pretty sure after that game, Oxygen have secured their way into sitting at match points, but I want to see how close the rest of the leaderboard is.
I love how Fallout
there were a couple teams in the 30
has the NBA Jam just chilling in the back.
To see how the standings shake up. We'll, of course, get that info as soon as we possibly can. Very impressive stuff right there. And you hit the nail on the head. Demon mode from Reps right there. That's what he does, man. In the clutch, a lot of people like to put so much respect to Hal for being the GOAT, the best player in Apex, but I say it all the time. He's Michael Jordan. Reps is Scottie Pippen, and it showed right there. Scotty's going big in the clutch when it matters the most. Hit every single shot with that 30-30 to break ice against a red-hot Oxygen. And guess what? We do got
so am I hopping on
Fort?
Fort?
Let's go ahead and take a look at who's going to do it. Who's at match point? We know Oxygen's there. And guess what? It's just them by a point or 2, Vicky.
Probably not.
Look at this, 49 points.
We'll see.
Denied the opportunity to sit at match point alongside Oxygen. Oxygen now have another game on Storm Point. It may not be their hometown buff up, but on World's Edge, but it's still 60 points to highlight how much KP they got.
If I'm playing, we're playing no build.
TSM went from 35 to 46 points, means that they still had a very kill-heavy game on top of the dub, but can they do it again before these other teams beat them to it?
Yeah, 4 more points is all that they need. That's a top 10 finish here. We'll see if they can get it. Optic right behind them, or right in front of them, sorry, with 48. Same with Luminosity.
All right,
Alliance.
Oxygen just needs to win
so
6 teams within 7 points.
We get more gameplay here in this match point final. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have one more game on Storm Point before we flip back over to World's Edge. Game number 6 coming up right after this.
Zero build is way better. Facts, King. That's a big old factor, Rooney.
A rogue virus. No jobs.
Man. I gotta figure out, wait, while we're on timeout. Listen to me. While we're on a commercial break, I wonder if I can find out what time the TSM Invitational starts tomorrow. Because I do work at noon. I work noon to 5 tomorrow. And I gotta figure out one more time to pop live over on the Vertical app. Yeah, we got the TSM snaps. Didn't mean to do that. My fault. We have the TSM Women's Invitational tomorrow. Starts at 6. So we'll be able to catch all of that over here because I'm off at 5. I'll be home in time for that. No. I mean, I don't know. Is your ass going to be up at a decent hour, or are you going to be sleeping until 11? You open? Oh, yeah, so then we ain't gonna be playing tomorrow. What's your schedule Friday? Ducky. By the way, we're all locked in and look good on. We look good and sound good on all the apps, right? Purple app, red app, vertical app. Looks like we've got people here in chatting on all of them. Wait, is one? Oh, that's Friday. This is 1 to 10:30.
Guess what? First team
Well,
unlocked
fuck.
match point. That's Oxygen here in our Code Freedom Finals, Vicky. Could this be the last and final game? You think Oxygen can close this out?
I mean, with the way that they're playing, if they continue on this way, I absolutely can't. But we have to say, this lobby is not only incredibly stacked when you just take a look at it, but if you take a look at the stats, Optic
sound
Skittle,
decent, I guess. Listen, as much as my bum ass sounds, it sounds like my normal
tosses a few nades, cleans up some KP,
raspiness, right?
TSM, you know, wanting to feel
Volumes.
something, wanting to see that everyone's
You smart ass.
match point. Put one on the board with what, like 9 KP to their name. So right now things are absolutely heating up. If Oxygen wants a free pathway into taking the dub and this prize money home, then they gotta close it out here before these other teams.
Yo, King,
see
I've
that
been
match
good,
point.
bro.
If anything, Fallout,
My,
this game, they determined, what, 8 teams sitting at
back
match
was
point,
keeping me out of the
perhaps?
gym for a
Yeah,
while,
that's a great
but
point. Right now, there's
back in
what,
the gym
6,
this
7
week,
teams
getting back
within
into my
reach.
routine.
A stone's throw to match point. 2 of them 1 point away. 1 of them 2 points away. That's
Little
Oxygen
man's
with
crushing the
38.
school.
So yeah, if you're Oxygen, you're saying we have a
I know
perfect
Weevil's
chance.
like
Let's close it
a
out
little
here.
busy
At the
right
same
now,
time,
but
you
she's
wanna
been
put the
crushing it
pressure
at
on
her
yourself,
job
right?
too.
Another
So
game of Apex.
all
Put
good
that
things
pressure
over
on
here,
yourself
man.
to
Just
even if it's harder to do. We'll see if
hoping
Oxygen
to
can
hear
clutch up
soon
Delta
that we're
in
gonna
this game
be
in 6.
helping out with
Can't wait to see how this plays out.
qualifiers for Pro League this year for ALGS. Would be kind of cool.
Tuning in, it is match point format.
But otherwise,
One
keep
more
the head
game
down,
on score
man.
point before we make the transition into World's Edge, which
Off
is
season starting to
where
pick up a little
Oxygen
bit
took
more
their
for
first
esports,
dub,
not just
game number
Apex, but
3.
across a couple
And
of
they do it again
titles.
as
So
we see the 50-50
we'll be doing
continue
more
on between
watch
Meat
parties
Lovers
like this
and
across our
TSM. Reps
brands.
is the first one to go down.
Oh my goodness, how tough would this be? TSM gets a win and then gets taken out, and it basically is denied an opportunity to get to match point.
Oh, I can imagine.
With the longbow not missing right now. Hal needs to get there. Hal says, I can't, Evan. You got to run away. He's trying to do everything he possibly can to stay alive in this fight. Good movement coming through from Evan. They got a tall task ahead of them.
He said, 1v1 me real quick here. Firing range, Russ, you call it. Coming in with a longbow, but look at the position. They're holding the same spot that they won.
So Reps officially down as a 3v2.
Off the 50-50 earlier on in the day. How? Right here on the outskirts of the building. Just wanted to see what they could do, because while this fight continues, we know that LG was sniffing out a
It's nice. It seems like works like somewhat flexible about working around my casting and stuff.
Hal, who is nowhere to be seen just yet.
Hal, last one alive. Got the L-Star.
Absolutely do this 1v3.
Get them all hurt. Good damage done. Get the second knock here. Hal knocks
1v1?
with the 1v3.
1v1? Let him cook.
1v1 to go huge. The GOAT against, maybe it's GOAT here in Meat Lovers. One member alive. It's
versus Luxford
with 2 HP. Are you kidding me?
Oh, Hal wins these. Luxford doesn't have any health.
Water. Even better when you get that ulti off the ground, depending on what the opposition holds here. Luxford, he's literally won, while Hal, without having that information, just looking to reset.
And Hal can get a res here. Luxford hears
it.
it.
He's coming.
Hal baits it. Hal connects here. Has the damage advantage.
That dirty 30.
On the edge of my seat right now. He's got the 30-32. Do you close him out to try to get a shield drop? Does he have a shield drop? Can he get just a shield swap in case?
9 bullets. I think he recognizes that. Gets a shield swap here.
Shield swap for...
Both players have no HP. Guess what? Hal's gonna I think.
Damn.
Luxford had
Sheesh.
2 HP. Used the knockdown
That's
shield.
insane.
They both queued up at the same exact time there. What an insane turn of events.
What a 1v1. He was one. Meat Lovers.
Do you have a ETA on getting the iPhone fixed?
Will come through into fruition eventually. Luxford being
Or
the
no?
unsung hero in a very intense 1v1 between himself and Hal. Now coming through from Lightning Rod, they got the ring console to the south. They'll know where that circle is going to be pulling. LG could equally just do the same thing. They don't hear fighting anymore, so they may
Another northern zone, huh?
And rotate through that long zip line that has now just been recently added.
A northern zone, and TSM's not going to be able to capitalize this time around.
But are we getting another similar wall circle, actually? May pull towards the hillside, if anything, towards Zoo Station.
I was going to say, I think this one pulls more towards Luminosity. I'm pretty sure.
Hold this high ground uphill beyond the wall.
Yeah, all LG needs is 1 kill.
Oh, waiting on a SIM card to show up?
Something tells me they already got it.
That makes sense.
I'm not sure if Flavor of the Month tried contesting. I actually missed that side of the map. I was so mesmerized by that fight right there. And I want to watch that back on replay, by the way. I hope our highlights and replay package team could put that 1v1 in the package at the end of this game, because I don't even know exactly what happened. I think Hal ran out of L-Star ammo. Luxford played it well. I don't know how Luxford got that Horizon Q, if Hal dropped that or not, but nonetheless, that was insane.
I mean, it was the same Horizon Q that
XC also make their way up
he had just used to get on top.
Will actually end up in the building, all
right?
the way to the tippity top of this hill. And that's where I'm expecting LG to probably hold that advantage, if that's a team that RXC is already taking some shots at. But while you hold this position a little early, yes, there's some natural cover you could work with, but you could find yourself in the pinch once you're in that second to last circle.
I'll be honest with you, Vicky. I didn't even know this position existed that they're in right now. I've never been that far north in my life before, and they're literally on World's Edge right now here in Storm Point, hugging the furthest north point that they possibly can, at least seemingly on the map here, as LG's nearby.
I'm gonna be real with you, Follow. I just wanted a really sick game up in this building like the other day with Conduit, so I'm gonna keep that on my mind rent-free. It was pretty crazy out here, but it was with the Loba holding on to that high ground roof with everyone dying at our feet, and LG have already gotten here rather early, but it's still a position where if you rotate too early, and you don't really have a bunker down character, it could be risky. At least in
so it does end up looking like it's gonna. This could actually pull more like in between Luminosity and where Wall is, almost down by those.
Off of this high ground.
Actually, it might end up finishing on those 2 buildings right there. Actually.
Yeah. Meanwhile, LG didn't. I don't know if LG got a scan here for where zone's gonna go, but there are 2 scans available: catalyst scans or controller scans. From the northeast side of the
Remember,
map.
Chad, as long as Oxygen doesn't win here, we get ourselves another game since we're on match point format.
Get that info. This could be a big game for Meat Lovers. They need it. They've been well behind in the standings here with all these 50-50 fights. Meanwhile, on board here, Dark Zero playing the rotate.
Well, it's extra crazy, too. I believe in the feed, if we caught that there, I believe Optic had gone down, too. So many of our teams
wow.
that in the top 5 spots.
I
are
wonder the
falling like
legitimacy
flies.
of like
Keep them
Sykes
coming.
potentially
Oxygen
joining
obviously
Dark
still
Zero, because
rather
that's not what
Galaxy
I've heard.
still healthy as Dark Zero called in that cat wall. Trying to play outside of the line of sight of that cat wall, deleting that black hole to again engage in the Dragon Ball Z building.
Well,
Right
so
there on the
they
other side of
had
the wall.
Zainu,
Careful, though, and gets deleted.
but
It's gonna
Zainu
be
got dropped
Zero,
after
who gets
champs.
taken down, and now they're forced to play on the low ground.
Zainu is rumored to
Yeah,
potentially be
last
joining
up,
FaZe,
Sykes.
but that's only because of the fact that he's playing with
Insane here.
FaZe
That's gonna be
today.
it. Dark Zero gonna get taken out to the hands of Drop In Gaming. Stunny playing with the Dojo Boys. Designful enemy. Both controller players from Chicagoland area.
People were thinking
So,
originally it was going to be
Kill.
between
Squad. Well played here from Dig.
Zapdo and
Right. Dropped in gaming. Gonna get this extra loot. They needed it. I mean, look at that line ammo.
Koifel.
He was on the 6 right here.
but
14
Koifel
squads left.
is
Nag's not having a good time here too.
picked
while they're
up. I
forced
don't
to
remember
rotate
by
inside
who.
the ring. Ring's claiming some lives here. The Meat Lovers, though, they're still alive coming out of that win versus TSM. But for how long with so many other teams rotating through this canyon and the 30-30 ringing through Tech's ears, you can see how many teams have already taken up that north side of the circle.
And at the bottom left there, pardon the, there's a little bit of a visual bug, it seems like. Meat Lovers is fully alive. Tech is not. Ratting, he got both of his teammates alive, so sorry for the bottom left UI glitch there. Meanwhile, jumping on board Sentinels, find themselves in Spider Cave's rotation. The team ahead of him.
Play around this with Zen just still having White Evos. Tries to get the beam on the car. So rotating away here. Playing this very passively at the very least, with RKN losing out on so much health. Thankfully, Zen takes a nice off.
Arsenal in.
Gets some shots in. With 14 squads still left. And they're
Back to playing as a duo?
Them towards
Yo,
what
Chucky
LG
looks
is.
cool. Thank you.
Meat Lovers, Oxygen, and Alliance are both looming in the distance. They gotta be careful here. You don't want a full send.
Taking a look at where that next circle could be moving to. Wondering if certain early rotating teams that we saw earlier may have paid the price for it. Sometimes overlooking the 3 bins that we saw LG pull into before going right back onto the high ground could be very risky because it leaves yourself open for the teams rotating away from this tunnel, actually. See Oxygen actually running right ahead of Meat Lovers. 2 of them holding onto the high ground here, and Aiden actually right... sorry.
Oh, on
Meat
the high
Lovers
ground,
actually right below ground. And Oxygen on the high ground means that they could rotate nicely right from this area, and they can take a look at Luminosity if they know exactly where that next...
Yeah, I don't think they want to
circle is
rotate
going.
just
They
quite
have
yet,
that
though, right? They don't want to
rotation.
surrender.
Takes the catalyst from Aiden. Evac tower.
Spot behind
what
him.
high ground can you take here?
Good awareness
If you're
there, too.
Meat Lovers, you know, with Tech running the fuse, that's them trying to control some of that extra space, and now it's going to be denied by Oxygen.
Yeah, good denial coming through from Oxygen. Basically making this rotation very tough here for Meat Lovers. We'll get some damage as Vane's gonna try and
I said Chucky seems cool.
from afar. Oh, gets beamed a little bit as the Horizon Q is taken. Or the Fuse Q, sorry.
I am excited to
Just wait on this high ground here.
clean. Also, Z needs to somewhere.
LG is still alive. Alliance is still alive.
Pretty sure, yes.
And Optic and TSM are nowhere to be found
Today's
here.
Wednesday.
Back to the lobby they go earlier on in this game. The Hemi in Vane's hands with the Prowler as a secondary.
I wasn't sure
Always
how
nice
much
to
he had
see
left.
here, but what is going to be the game plan here for Meat Lovers? Do they want to take some circle damage with it closing in right behind them, rotate for the long run, or do they want to hold on to this north side, which is what they should do here, honestly, depending on how they want to rotate and looking at their meds.
Yeah, just a heads up. Alliance has secured match point by securing top 14. Top 16 gets them at least 1 point, and they had 49. So we do know Alliance will be at match point after this game. Oxygen, of course, those are just tuning in. The only team at match point right now with 60 points going into this game. So if Oxygen wins this game, tournament over. That's it. Done and dusted. Meanwhile, some rat gameplay coming here. Dig. Oh boy.
All right. Well, the Newcastle while coming
All
in.
right, Meat Lovers.
Putting down Dr. Pupper while he's at it. Having to be careful playing on the outskirts of this circle.
Luxford's gonna be late in here.
With the alley-oop. Goat is going to be taking that for free. 5-star rating here before sliding right over.
Regiment
to
out
your
early
team. That is
again,
the
man.
Regiment out of this lobby. 13 squads left. And LG waiting for them on the outskirts.
Boys from Regiment struggling, no?
Yeah, look at the HP.
Oh,
right now.
LG
Goat,
just kind of
Luxford,
vibing where they're at, though, huh?
Oxygen and LG both come in and clean up. Try to get some kill points here.
Oxygen just trying to play it low and slow.
Yeah, Meat Lovers down to 1. It's just Goat. Well played there from Oxygen. Recognizing the opportunity to third party.
Remember, all they have to do is win. They don't really give a crap about anything else.
Which also means that they'll be sitting at match point on top of the placement that they get. So that's going to be Alliance and LG mating Oxygen at match point. If we go to another game, evac tower called in while Goat is fighting for his life. Sees that Oxygen has gotten away. Is just going to be able to try to heal right through that. Has got some death boxes, at least in front of them, if he needs to get some extra loot. But he's going to start rotating in the next 35 seconds because that's when the circle's going to be closing in.
I love that decision from Oxygen, recognizing they had the evac as a way to get back up. Getting some kill points, eliminating some teams, a little bit of a loot upgrade.
I gotta figure out what keeps
Smart
causing me to
plays
lose
from
internet
OXG.
temporarily
I
on
really
the
love the
PC.
addition of the evac tower
Frustrating.
last year to competitive Apex. Plays like that mid.
I'm trying to wrap around here too. You can see an overlook at our other teams still playing off the height inside of that building, right to the side of Zoo Station, while also taking a look at the action all happening by wall. Oxygen going in for that rotate. There's that creeping barrage that will force you off the high ground of that building with the wall included here. What a great gameplay and decision from Oxygen to actually fully engage here. Sounds like the conduit had also been called in earlier from the opposition so that way they can hold on to this building. But while they do rotate on the outskirts of the fence line, holding this building is going to mean everything.
Bro, this building's big for Oxygen because once this building or once this ring closes, they don't have to worry about anyone rotating this way.
Just take low ground. They want to coexist here, and actually, as I say that, they want to fight. Both of them broken though. I'm not sure if that's their best push.
Oh, this is LG, not Oxygen.
For Oxygen, here comes Luminosity, a chance to make
Oh,
sure
Oxygen's right here. Okay.
Goes down.
They had called to fully send on the one individual player out of position, and Yanya had taken a 1v2 by themselves, costing Yanya's life. He's still trying to look at the action happening inside the building. Catalyst reinforced doors have come in that can help out Nizul a lot here, but they're trying to find the player from the low ground.
Yeah, Yanya got full wiped here too. That's tough, bro.
If I saw that correctly, it's a 2 versus 2 fight. Catalyst right in front of them. Someone staying sneaky. They're gonna get angles. Look at the angles taken. Nizel down to basically no health. He gets knocked. Jaguar is down to no HP. He's just gonna have to desperately run away. And Oxygen pulls it away again. Takes the 3-3 fight with a win, but certainly with casualties.
Wow, but that's also such an amazing spot for Oxygen to hold. At least if they can get their third up.
See, Chad, told y'all about that spot here now, man. Oxygen's going to be in a good spot. They'll get to reset.
Off this low ground, still hanging out by wall.
This is the opposite side of the map, though. 07.
And if they do take this building, they also get the zip line for free.
Naske's new team.
Yeah, this entire southwest side of the ring is going to be a nightmare.
And then FaZe is in the next building over, I do believe.
FaZe Clan, Alliance, Salute, former KCP, all nearby. Roar here as well. Diesel goes down, and all breaks going to come through for Salute. This is an opportunity to get these.
Oh, is that their name? Is Salute? It's just 07's a weird way of, is the way of putting it. Got it, because that's what it is.
Also got the creeping barrage to negate any sort of pressure.
As an emote or whatever.
To say if they can engage, at least on this fight here. Here comes the engagement.
Okay, Amphi's able to get one.
Needs some help from Nasky on the other side after they get beamed. Nasky being on the conduit knows that he's got no.
Why are we switching from that fight?
The third party. It's gonna be FaZe.
I hate it here.
Yeah, Nasky last alive here. Looks like he cleaned up that squad, but FaZe will clean him up. Roar eliminated. Nasky sneaks away, I think, somehow, but FaZe Clan takes his entire building.
I hate it here.
There he is. He's right below their feet. If I saw that silhouette correctly, the evac tower called in, but from where? The ghost. Halloween's already over. Having to look around, they do see some shots being taken by the teams that are already.
All right, Oxygen top 10.
Does Nasky actually get away from this? Is he on the jump tower on the other side? No, he's not. But he will be creeping in. He will be creeping in just as Alliance will under their evac tower. He's finally getting out of position.
That's big, though, because Alliance is going to take the fight here.
I don't know if the same can be said, though, about
from OP, from Outplayed, which means Salute might actually be able to roll in behind them.
This zone is brutal. Reminds me of all the Storm Point zones we used to catch on Stormcatcher and that side of the map. Thunderwatch. Previous Storm Point. Here comes the push, though. Everyone.
FaZe Clan's gonna be in trouble having to move up this hill.
Survive, but no one is.
Yeah.
It is a battlefield. FaZe Clan gets.
ANC Outplay now has the Storm on their ass.
Might be next, but they'll find their way through. Team right in front of them, though. Good knocks will come, and guess who's
Sentinel's gonna come in 3P. Nice.
The last team standing.
And you know who's right on top of Sentinels? The team sitting at match point. It's going to be Oxygen.
Oxygen top 5. Is Oxygen?
North side of this hill. Sentinels in some trouble with 5 squads.
Oxygen have winning spot here?
Put down all their attention and get too overly aggressive.
They might.
On Sentinels. They know that they have the position advantage, but they still have to rotate into the circle from the northwest side.
And they got the res because I don't know if LG ever got the full kill on Oxygen. So
they did. Everybody from Oxygen's alive here.
Yeah, yes, yeah, exactly. So all 3 members of Oxygen alive and complete and utter high ground with the zone pulling to their right. Oxygen certainly has the win condition here. Hockey's is just one person on Alliance.
Whoa.
Sentinels is the only team that
Denial, sit down.
Oxygen's gonna creep in here as this fight is ensuing.
I don't think that's Oxygen.
Left here, Sentinels about to go down. Orioles being the last one alive.
Yeah, that's the South American
team
team first.
It's Alliance,
now Oxygen is coming in 3 pieces. Oxygen gets this for free.
Opportunity from the other teams that thought that they had another chance.
Oh, this is free
for the back-to-back.
On complete high ground, sitting atop of the world right now is Oxygen with a chance to close out this tournament and $18,000 for first place, and they're doing it.
Oh yeah, they're big vibing, dog.
The push on 1. He's gonna get the knock. Hockey's is the only one that can somehow, some way make this a game number 7.
Love this from the Army National Guard to provide us some high-octane Apex action for our final tournament.
Yeah, but that means Hockey's the last one alive.
SA Dead is gone. That means there is only one member left of Alliance.
Yep. GG's. Oxygen able to get done in 6 games. Sheesh.
What a performance from OXG. 3 games in a row they perform and they show up big time. 2 games in a row on Storm Point. This is what we're talking about with this squad led by Vayne, the IGL, the
big
leader
man
of this team. Reeds, Aiden, 2 controller players. They stuck together as everyone tried poaching Aiden from this roster and Reeds from this roster. No one could do it because they had loyalty to one another. Guess what? It paid off. First place, your champions of the Code Freedom Finals.
I mean, I thought Oxygen built up some decent steam at the end of this season. Maybe didn't have the performance they were looking for at Champs, but them staying together is going to be big moving into year 4.
It was game number 3, but then from there, they still were very consistent on obtaining the KP and the placement points that they needed to stay on the
It's going to be really big.
And they didn't get another winner.
Here's
for
that
this
fight.
final game where it mattered the most, but they sure came in close. But we get to see some of these replays. The very
That should
beginning,
probably lock in
this
Alliance in
is
second, though, right?
that we got to see
With the second place finish there.
Here's the situation. So he did
Game
take
6.
Horizon's Q up with the knockdown shield. Oh my gosh, what a finish. You see some body shooting going on after that as well. Massive 1v1. Let's replay that so incredible.
This was a big play here as far as for Oxygen.
Play spoiler to OXG. Maybe
I wish they could have pointed that out more.
Instead,
because them securing that spot from Luminosity was what won them the game.
A couple teams on the low ground tried making it, but it was just death hill, really what that was.
And what's even crazier, too, if Oxygen didn't take that game, win while they were sitting at match point, 2 other teams were about to meet them in that match point format, sitting with over 50 points. So Oxygen knew that they had to go all in, holding the best position that they could, while we take a look at the overall standings for this final game.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. We know Alliance and LG.
All right, let's see it.
That match point
Alliance second, Luminosity third.
So again,
Sentinels in 4th. Wow. FaZe Clan without Snipe down with Zainu in 5th.
Instead, they secure the bag. Kudos to Oxygen for doing it. But then a shout out to Alliance, 2nd place, playing all the way from Europe on North American servers. Luminosity in 3rd, Sentinels in 4th, FaZe Clan with the new roster playing with Zainu in 5th. Optic and TSM.
Bro, my triceps are still sore. I'm in trouble for tomorrow, dog.
Insane action we got to see. First
Tomorrow's push day at the gym.
First look at Store Point into seeing the teams make the adjustments that they had to going onto World Edge. We didn't see World Edge again after game number 4, but it was the fact that the consistency from our top end teams. Look at this overall score.
I'm in so much trouble for push day.
With how crazy they played, but we had Alliance, Luminosity, and Sentinels, and FaZe 1 point away from meeting them at match point. That next game would have been hell for Oxygen to work through, and yet they took the dub. They took the best position, being on top of the house after forcing LG off.
Crazy tournament series, 6 games.
All right, chat. Y'all know how we normally do, man. We don't do a lot of the
very first time. We got to see Conduit and play
post-series stuff.
What were some of your highlights here? And we're
gonna keep that kind of the same today, man.
Conduit.
No, so Oxygen wins the whole thing. So it was match point format today. So even though that was only game 6, they were at 50-something points before that, Mikey. So it's over. It's over. All right, chat. So we're going to get up on out of here, man. If y'all are watching on the purple app, make sure you hit the follow button, turn the notifications on. If y'all are watching the red app, man, we're going to be doing a lot more watch parties coming up here as well. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn those notifications on. If you're over here on the vertical app, man, this is our first stream popping live over here. This is a lot of fun. Make sure y'all are tapping that screen. Make sure y'all are following. I'm out of here for now. Like I said, we got more action tomorrow. I'm not a loser. You're a loser, Ducky. Love your face. We'll be back here tomorrow. We've got the TSM Women's Invitational starting at 6 p.m. Make sure y'all check out the YouTube for some recent videos. Dropped a couple of this week. Would love for y'all to check those out. It's literally just OBS that continues to give us issues. But anyways, man, I'm out of here until we catch y'all back over here for the next one. Don't forget, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere. Game hard, love hard. All right, y'all. Love you guys. We'll catch y'all tomorrow for some more Apex. Peace.